Hello, everyone, and welcome to my show. Today, my show is about police brutality and why most African American men are afraid of the police and why they do the things that they do to cause harm to themselves. Oftentimes, they do what they do, other times, they do nothing. But my show today is basically just to let other nationalities know how we think as black people because they think that we are all so bad or we don't think right or we cause all the problems. Well, first of all, everyone knows that the problem started from way back, and from what we have been taught by our people, what has happened, because we wasn't born at that time, so we only went by what our grandparents told us, our great grandparents told us about what happened to us hundreds and hundreds of years ago. So now, as time went on and African American people saw it to be true, and especially the younger generation, when they began to see that it was true and that it is still going on, from what they were told when they were young, this is what makes them retaliate against the police officers. And this is what the reason black people have stole, fight, kill, talk back to the cops, and all of the things that they say that the African American people are bad about. But it stemmed from being it stems from the racism that they have acquired and endured from their ancestors all the way down to just now with the George Floyd protest, which has really, really touched a lot of people when they actually were able to see it for themselves on national television, that how the cops have been doing us, even though they already knew, but the pain set in when they actually saw it for themselves, because many people realize, if they have a heart at all, that God created heaven and earth and everything that's in it. And to see a man kill another man, doesn't matter about his color, doesn't matter what he did, in handcuffs, that was pure lynching, which other young African Americans saw it on TV as well, right? So, which means what? They're going to retaliate because they see it still going on from what they were taught from long, long ago. Nothing has changed at all, you guys. So, this is why now when cops stop them, and they're already in their minds feeling like, well, he's going to do this to me, he's going to do that to me, because he has been doing it ever since then. Okay? So, this is why they grab the tasers. They retaliate about getting in the police car. They turn around and run. Then they get shot in the back. It's because of the fear of what they feel, that they're going to be lynched because of their skin color. Basically, that's where it all started from. Because black people were not taught to be racist or prejudiced. And the reason why, because if you see our skin color, inside we're all, mixed. We're all mixed. I mean, unless you're pure-blooded from somewhere else, pure-blooded, most African American people are mixed with everything, and it stems from way back then, when the slave masters were raping and having sex with the black women, and that's why we're all rainbow colors, African American people. So it didn't matter to us about race. We never were prejudiced against anyone, and we often wonder, why would they be like that with us, knowing what they did to us. We didn't do anything. All we did was worked and helped them. I recall my mother telling me that they used to iron clothes for them, other Caucasian people get paid little money, and they did it with pride. They did it with pride because God gave them the strength to do it with pride. And God gave us the strength not to even still be prejudiced, even though we were the ones that were abused. How deep can that be? because God sits high and looks low, and there is no way on this earth. And he used George Floyd as an example to set the pace and open up the doors and the window of heaven so that the Caucasian people can chime in and get with us against the bad ones that don't have the hearts. And you know, it was always some good Caucasian people, and my dad met many of them growing up when they used to pick cotton and stuff, and they met nice Caucasian people that had the hearts because they had God in their hearts. But there's no way on this heaven and earth that any man, white, black, green, or blue, that does something that horrific and still tries to do it in this day and time, that it will continue. And the reason why, because they didn't make, God created this heaven and earth. No man, not me, not them, not you, no man created this. God created this heaven and earth. And so this stuff has to stop. And it has stopped. And it will stop. And of course you're going to still have people that still hating the situation because they've been riding so long off of the blood, sweat, and tears of the black people, and they don't want to give up and give in and be true and honest about the situation. That we were the ones, the breadwinners and all, way back then. My dad, they used to pick cotton, for free and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Never got paid a dime. Just out in the hot sun, just working like Hebrew slaves. Nothing was ever said, they just did it. And so don't you think it's time for black people to be rewarded? I mean, man can't say when it's time either, because you see how God did it with George Floyd. It was all nationalities, like it should be, like it should have been. It was all nationalities, all people with hearts, good people. And they too, the cops arrested. You see what I'm saying? So the cops, the thing about the police officers is that when they get stopped or they stop a black person, knowing how this black person already feels from what happened through slavery time, many of them will say, well, you should forget that because that was back then. Yes, but it was still happening right now. If something was back then and it never happened again, it can be. You can forgive it and move on. You cannot move on if it's still happening. You're still killing up all the people that God created on this earth, and he's not going to allow it either. As you can see with the marches. This happened out of nowhere, just people all over the world. I'm like, what is it? And it happens to be a friend of mine, husband's first cousin. Her boys are Floyds. And so this just happened. Nobody expected it. So you know it was God. And it was on national television for the world to see how cruel police officers are racist against African American men and intimidated by their presence. George Floyd had no say so, and he was 6'6". He didn't make himself. He had no say so in being a humanitarian for people, because allegedly I heard that he actually had talked with that cop about mistreating people in that club they worked at. That's what I heard allegedly. And so the cop had it in for him anyway. The whole time he was intimidated by him. So they're intimidated by the presence of a black man because of the strength and the power and the presence that God made them be. It doesn't take anything away from them because God made them be the way they were. But he didn't make them be on this earth to kill all his people that he created, his black people, which makes the whole world go around. He made every color, and that was what God wanted. Who in the hell is a man, white, blue, green, or yellow, to take another man off of this earth because of his color, the color of his skin? But if he'd been riding on his color thinking he was God so long, all of his life, he knew no better. But when the master up above shut it down, wake you up, wake up the world, Either God will wake up the world or he'll let the devil destroy it because people did not wake up in the world that he created and he had woken up. If the people have not learned a lesson through this, it was COVID-19. Many people didn't take heed to that. They had no idea why it happened, where it happened. All of this was happening because God was getting ready to do something. Then you turn around, it was the George Floyd. What he was doing with the COVID, he was letting people know that I don't care who you are. You can be the richest to the poorest. I'm going to show you who I am. And because you thought your money was your power, I'm going to let you know I'm all power. And I'll shut it down. And that's what he did. And he'll do it again. Or he'll wipe you out if you don't wake up and get it right. God is love. God is not about racism. He's not about you going around killing off the people that he created. You didn't make these people. And these young black guys are fearful of the cops because of the fact they already know they're going to get beat or shot or killed or something planted on them. I have many black nephews in my family, brothers that have been accused of things from the cops that they did not do. I have people that have been harassed by the cops, threatened by the cops, beat by the cops, and the majority of the cops are white. That would do it because of the color of their skin. And many times they didn't give a damn if you was an executive. They're going to do it anyway because of the fact of them packing a gun. And who trained these people to go around and do this? Who trained them to use your gun for, your power? God is all power. Because in my eyes, if a police officer stopped a black person, or if I was a Caucasian person, I was a police officer, to make peace, what I would do, I would say, hello, young man, step out of the car. I'm not going to hurt you. I just, you ran that light. And I have to write you a ticket. But don't worry, I'm not going to hurt you because, I know many times, we have jumped on black guys, but I'm not going to hurt you. And I want you to know I'm not the bad cop. Nothing would happen. Nothing would happen. When a cop get out of their car being nice to the person they stopped, especially a black person or brown person, Mexican, black, brown. If a cop got out of their police car and was nice to these people, instead of getting out and being hostile and pulling out their guns and putting their hands on their gun and shooting them if they reach over for their cell phone or saying they did this and that, I would advise right now today for all people, black, white, and all people, put your own camera in your car and put it right where if you get stopped, everything will be on your camera. Everything. And do everything right. Many times, I know African American people did everything right. Matter of fact, they licked the cop's ass and still got killed. Right on tape. So it has to be a change because who in the hell are they just because they're packing a weapon? They're human just like we are. And that's why many of them have gotten busted for stealing drugs off of people. Many of them have gotten busted for setting up illegal raids like that happened in Houston. Many of them have gotten busted for raping prostitutes. Many of them have gotten busted because they thought they were above the law, and they wasn't. Their job was to protect us and uphold the law. So if they can get a relationship with these African American men, it won't be no problem. It won't be no problem. But when you get out with your hands, or like that guy in Florida, no, was it Florida? No, it was Atlanta, at that Wendys, where the Caucasian lady burned down the Wendys. I saw that full tape on YouTube. Even though that guy was drunk, but he tried to do everything that they told him to do. Now, he was talking wrong words because they knew he was drunk when he fell asleep in the Wendys line. Now, if I was a police officer, when I got him out of that line, if I wanted to take him to jail, I would have done it then. Not tell him, you go park over there, and the man did what they said, and then they went later on and harassed him. I wouldn't have done that. I would have taken him to jail right away when I first discovered he was drunk. But you're going to make him do an eye test for 15, 20 minutes, then you're going to tell him to walk the line, and he did it. And then you're going to say, turn around. Well, why didn't you do that when the man was in line? So I think this is probably why, if they said he had taken that taser away, who wants to be tased if they did everything that you said do? I'd rather you just handcuff me and take me to jail when you first saw that I was drunk than to come over and harass me knowing I'm already intoxicated. You knew that from jump. You knew that when you got the phone call, because people called and told you it was a man fell asleep in the line, and when you got there, you smelled alcohol. Take him to jail then. Why did you go and harass him for all that time on that camera? That looked like that tape was about 30, 40 minutes long. And then he was harassing that drunk man. And so then turn around and handcuff me. Take me to jail right away. That was wrong. And this is why that protest and that Caucasian lady burned down that Wendys, because you harassed that drunk man. You could have just told him, sleep it off, we'll keep your keys, or call someone right now while we're here and they can come and get you and drive you home. If you wasn't going to take him to jail, that's what I would have done. I wouldn't have harassed the man. But because he was black, see, it still goes back, and that's what make black people retaliate. All this retaliation and looting and all this stuff, it comes from that. And it makes it look bad for the other Caucasian people. It really does, because they wonder why all these black people hoodlums with their pants down and this and that. Because they don't give a damn. They don't care about dying. They don't care. They will tear down the world. No justice, no peace. These people are not playing anymore. And especially these younger generation. They will burn it down. It would be war right here in the United States of America with all these African American people when they get mad. When they get mad. Because as I heard someone say, African American people are not trying to form no KKK black mass group. They really don't want to retaliate. Just show kindness, because they already been beat down. We have from way back 300-400 years ago. And we don't want that. We want peace. But if you show love, you'll get love, because they already know what you come in to do, and that's to beat them and to kill them. That's to beat them and to kill them. Shoot before thinking. Shoot because you're black. That's all you do. You shoot people and you kill them because of their skin color. You don't know if they have a white baby mixed with white, and you kill the baby's father. There are many, many mixed couples. Even in my family, we're all of it. And a bowl of chips with every color and every kind, all mixed up. My nieces and nephews, everybody's mixed with white, and this and that and that and this. This is a new day. You should not want to do what your people did to the slaves. You should not want to do that. You should want the world to be a happy place, because if you don't, God's going to shut the place down. You won't have no place to be in anymore, because people don't care about dying right now. Either the Caucasian people are going to get it together, the ones that are racist, or you can see what's going on. The world is going to get, it's not going to be nowhere. It's not going to be no peace nowhere. It's not going to be, because you can see it. George Floyd was an example. God used him as an example to show people that this world is going to change, or I'm going to shut it down. COVID-19. They say it came from China. I don't know where it came from. All I know is God allowed it to happen so that people could wake up. And those that don't wake up, that goes for me, you, and anybody else. The next thing he do It'll be like burning in hell right on this earth. You can live and burn in hell. Because if I tell you that wasn't hell, you see me with this mask on, it's still hell. It's like when you walk around now, you just see, look like we in Mars somewhere. Everybody's just looking in masks, you know. And now they made it a law that if you don't wear it, you get fined, I think $1,000 or so. Come together, people. It's time out for the bull. And the ones that are racist, the KKKs and all the people that are racist, when it's all said and done, and even if something happened to them and a black person came to save their life, I bet you that'll change it. You don't see no color in a time of need, or when you're about to take your last breath and a black person can pump air in you and save you. The black person can save the white man. Like I saw a picture online where a black protester packed a white guy. I think he was retaliating against the Black Lives Matter. And he packed him away from harm. That's how we do it. We do it with dignity, we do it with pride, and we do it with class. But the younger generations, they ready to go to war with you if you don't show them love, or if you don't stop killing other brothers. It made them not give a damn. And this is what happened. This is why all the black young men would retaliate with the police officers, because they say, to hell with it. You already killed my great ancestors. And I'm gonna go out and I don't give a damn how I do it. I don't give a damn if I tell the world. I don't give a damn about nothing, because you're still doing it. That's why they do that. Many people don't know. You know, a lot of, I even have Caucasian friends, a lot of them will say, why these black people, everything was against the black boys. They be hoodlums and they be this and they be that. Well, I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. It's because it's still happening from what happened in slavery, and they don't give a damn, because they already know you're going to shoot them because they black, beat them because they black, because it never went away. It never went away. It was still happening 2020 until George Floyd, God opened up that window where people could see that Black Lives Matter. We already know all lives matter, but the Caucasian lives always did matter. It mattered even back in the slavery when our people were doing all the work. It mattered then. But God said Black lives matter because He created the Black lives. All lives matter on this earth. All lives matter. The world goes around. You have many black celebrities and people that have hired all nationalities, have given jobs to Caucasian people. They didn't hold that against them, what their ancestors did to our ancestors. They didn't hold that against. They hired them and gave them jobs. And just like the Caucasian people give us jobs, but most black people expect to get a job because they feel that our ancestors already had made the way for the Caucasians to have jobs and have money, because all the work they did for free on their back, picking the cotton, doing this and that and that and this, doing whatever their slave masters told them to do, and they made all the money to make a way for their children. And so black people never held that against them. Even in my business, I had all nationalities. So we just wanted to be like that on both ends, and that's all. You know, fair is fair, right is right, and most of all, love is love. I see no color. I feel energy, and if it's good for me, I'm good with it. But if it's not good for me, then God will remove it. Just like He removing all of this stuff that's going on, removing these cops off of the streets. See all that stuff, people thinking they have been getting by because of their color? God said Black lives matter because I made them. We already know your life have already mattered. Even God let the people that dog the black people lives still matter. And some of them he gave chances, these cops and all these racist people, and they still go back and do something else stupid until he just wipes them out. Like, I gave you a chance and you still gonna do it? Okay, let me shut down the world. Okay, let me put this stuff on television so the world can see. Okay, you don't run nothing. Your color don't mean nothing to God. And that goes with African American people that ride off of their color because they felt that since the white people mattered and their skin was closer to white, they felt that they were superior over some of their own people. It doesn't matter. And that's why my mom taught us, and we're all colors, from white to black. Doesn't matter about your skin color because God created you and your color. And he'll wipe you off of this earth if you don't realize it. And you're supposed to love all people for who they are. They're a good loving spirit. They're good hearts. They're good hard works. Because that's what he sees. He knows exactly, God knew exactly what he was doing when he made every single person. And no man on this earth has the right to remove a person but him when it's time for them to go. So these cops, they need to be nicer to people. And they need to, when they stop someone, how come they can't be nice? How come they got to get out with their mouth poked out and their gun in their hand? Why? Because I've known people have told me, African American men have told me, well, when the cops stopped me, I did everything right, and he still was mean to me. He still was an asshole. All the way out. Get out the car. Just talk nasty to you and just want you to say something not mean. Even if you say yes sir, because that's what most African American people were taught. And that stuff stemmed from slavery days. Because I used to ask my dad why he would say that, and he said, well, I'm saying it because that's what they want to hear. And I have 8 kids to feed. I mean, they had to go through all that playing games just to feed their kids because of some stupid stuff. Because it wasn't right. And anything that's not right, in the end, it'll fall apart. Trust me, like it's doing. So people just, you can do all right with some officers and they don't give a damn. Just like that guy was, yes sir, no sir, officer, yes sir, officer. I understand. Yes, can I walk to my room right down the street so I want to drive? Can you just let me? And they still harassed him. That was wrong. That was wrong. So now these officers, and that's not just with officers, even the celebrities, all these men that have raped women, back in the days, they thought they was going to get by too, black and white. From Weinstein to R. Kelly to Bill Cosby to, people should wake up and see that it don't, your money and your color does not mean anything to the Almighty God who created this heaven and this earth. Remember that. You cannot get by before you leave here, because that judgment day is coming, and it may come before you leave. So I'm glad I know that. I'm glad I don't have that racist in my heart. Never have, never will. So for all the good people, white people out there, I love you. And I appreciate all the white people that are standing with Black Lives Matter, because a lot of those people may have black in their family. And there are a lot of white people, I want to tell you, I know a lot of white people have passed. I mean, they were black, but they passed for white. And they got more white privilege being black, but they didn't know they were black. They had to fake it out just to get what they want. I know someone, I have a friend like that. Look just as white can be. And just as black in her heart as she can be, because she knows she's black. But she had to do what she had to do because she knew that white privilege got her in the door. Now, is that right? People had to fake just to get ahead. God don't like that. So he's tired, and that's why you see all the marches all over the world. White, black, Mexican, Chinese, even the Chinese, even the little kids starting to protest that Black Lives Matter. All of the major department stores, all of them. I've gotten letters from all of them saying, "Oh, we're just so sorry this has happened to the black community, and Black Lives does matter. And we're going to do all we can to make sure." I mean, everything has changed. Now, a lot of it is that because it is historical now, that a lot of people are riding and using this stuff too, because they know blacks, we do spend a lot of money. We like earrings, like what I got on, glasses, makeup, whatever it is. Like me with this mask, I got one in every color. Black people spend money on clothes. Like this little cartoon outfit is a short set. We just spend money. And if black people stop spending money, it'll be a big dip in this economy, because we don't save money. We pretty much don't. We just like to look good. Period. So a lot of these department stores are doing it because they know if they lose that black money, and I'm wondering if it's sincere or if it's just for the money. And only God knows that, because he'll shut them down too. He will. He will shut them down if they're saying this and then they're not hiring African American people. Just like me as an actress, because I'm African American, I've cast for many things that I know are qualified to have. But who did they give it to? Gave it to a Caucasian person. So now this could open up the door for me, which it should have a long time ago, because now I'm a mature person, and if I do it, it won't be because I need to. It will be because God put me there. And really, I don't want no role and no scene. I don't want no money or nothing if God does not give it to me. I don't want it. And you know why? Because I don't need it. When you have God, you don't need nothing. All you need is peace. With peace, you can be happy. Because look at all the people who had all the money and couldn't even go nowhere, couldn't even travel. Had to stay in the house in quarantine. And in New York, that was the worst. And New York, everything is closed in, no front yard, no backyards, Man, can you imagine being locked up in a condo where you just in a building and you can't hardly breathe, everybody's stacked on top of each other? That was, if that wasn't a wake-up call, that was another reason a lot of people got out and protest too, because they was happy to get out of the house. So hopefully they were sincere, the ones that did. All of the people. I'm saying the black, the whites, whatever. But my topic today was basically about how the reason black men fear the cops. And the reason they fear the cops because of what their ancestors went through. How they hung black men, slaved black men, beat black men, raped black men, women had babies by black men, women dogged black men, and they feel like it never stopped. So they're going to fight the cops to try to keep them off of them. And they get shot and killed like dogs. And they fight them because of the fact they know if that cop get them, they may never show up again. Or they may be dead, and the cop many years would say whatever they said went. I know women worked in the police department. Actually, was a play daughter of mine. And the police get angry and mistreat women if they don't like them or want to date them. They get upset about it. There were many in the police department. They would get bitter and mean and give them hell. Like threaten them and, really scare them up if you don't like me, and harass them, and, I've experienced it. I even know a lady that was married to a cop, and he would go home and abuse her every day when she got home until she finally divorced him. Yeah, he would intimidate her. She was married to him 30 years and she finally got out. He would really dog her. He was a police officer. And she was one too, but because she was a woman, she was like really into her husband. And he would walk up behind her at home because he was a big, big, tall person, intimidate her presence and beat her and, put her down. And I've heard many stories like that. I know women that's dated him, they did the same thing. When they packed that gun, they thought they had power. And without that gun, a lot of them would be nothing but little wimps without that gun. They use their gun to kill people. They use their gun to intimidate people. They use their gun to feel like they're powerful. That's not the way to gain power. The way to gain power is through your heart, your kindness, and your love. That's when you gain power. Because in the end, look at all this stuff that's happening to the cops. And we all need them. And this does not go for the good cops. There are some good cops. But a lot of times, the good cops, some of them get turned out by the bad cops. Just like those cops with George Floyd, where they just stood around. If one person would have stopped or pushed him off, none of that would be happening today. None of it. But it was supposed to happen. George Floyd's life was a sacrifice for the world, as you could see all over the world. People all over the world, Berlin, Germany, London, everywhere. Oh my God, Jesus. So, people, all people, wake up and let's just keep God in our hearts and try to love one another and get along. As you can see, this world is already coming to an end with all this stuff going on. So at least we could all end it together on a good note. On a good note. Do you know everybody on this earth should be rich and happy? Because that's the way God created it. There should be nothing that nobody on this earth should want for. Because all the land and everything that God created, He created so everybody can have everything they want. And if people share right, instead of holding on to everything, not helping someone that's down, everybody you see will be happy. I bet you that would be so beautiful. Can you imagine being in the world and everybody you look at is just happy and everything is just beautiful. Everything is just like a flower. That flower behind me, see where that sign say peace back there on my picture? That would be peace in the world. In the middle of that flower, it has the world. Peace. And that's what the world, this is what God is trying to do. He's trying to make it just like that sign with that world in the middle of that flower. Peace for this world. It's almost like you meet someone and you fall in love with them and you see stars and you see, oh, you're so in love and the beauty of it all. Well, we haven't had that chance. Black people haven't had that chance. Caucasian people haven't had that chance either, because in the back of the minds, when black people are being mistreated, many Caucasian people don't like that, as you can see in the march. In the march, they don't like that because they know it's not right, and a lot of Caucasian people went along with their friends or family or whatever just because of the fact of them feeling superior, white privilege, telling them you're white privilege, this, that, and the other. So kids grow up on what they're taught. And now the younger generation is growing up on what's real and what God created, the real deal. Because nobody could stop the mix of the kids. Nobody. When a black and white couple, interracial couples got together, couldn't nobody stop that. That was love. That wasn't color. Many times that was love. You see what I'm saying? So who in the hell is anybody to just be shooting off and killing black men if they say boo? People tired. And I think it's over. I think it is. Because at this point, many of these young people, they don't give a damn. And don't let all them start putting up groups together. Oh my God, it'll be crazy. All that looting and rioting, and I'm not for all of that, but I know why all of that happened. I know why. But I'm not for it. But when people stop being racist towards these young people and show that stuff, it will not be forgotten, but it will be forgiven when people treat people the same way as they wish to be treated. And that's just how it is. There's no way around it. It's not going to be no peace if it's not that way, because it's got to be right. It's just like in a marriage. If it's not right, it's no peace, and it's not going to last. Same thing. Same thing. And now I think we get it. All the news reporters, like I said, all the big time department stores, Black Lives Matter. White lives have always mattered, but so Black Lives Matter now. Period. Period. I know my life didn't matter. It didn't matter because God created me. But now the world know that Black Lives Matter. I'm going to end my show with that, and I'm going to end it with peace, love, and happiness. And this world can be a better place. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.